we're just a Bitcoin education nonprofit, right? We're just orange pilling people, specifically people who are new to the space. So we focus on introductory Bitcoin education rather than like super technical, very advanced stuff. Like we're trying to help people take their first step. And since we've begun here in El Salvador, we've taught about 40,000 students in person. And everything that we do is open source. So because of that, it's led to some really great. It's led to a lot of indirect impact. So we have helped to train 500 public school teachers to teach our flagship product, which is the Bitcoin diploma, in the public school system here. So they're off. That's not counted in our numbers, right? They're off teaching. I don't know how many students they've taught at this point. This is an ongoing. We started training public school teachers at the end of 2023. So I don't know how many they've taught, but we're working with the Ministry of Education, and the goal is to bring this to every school in the country. We also have created what we call a node network of independent Bitcoin educators. And in order to join the network, you have to have some proof of work. Like by and large, it's people who are already teaching the Bitcoin diploma or other materials that we've created for introductory Bitcoin education. And you have to agree to some core values. And those core values are that the education must be independent, impartial, community-led, quality, Bitcoin only, and teach empowerment. So if you agree to those principles, you could demonstrate proof of work, then you could apply to join the network. And at this point, because one of our core values is empowerment, right? We're not trying to dictate to people. So it's actually self-governing at this point. We don't control the network.
The node network.
Yeah, the node network. So the network itself would decide whether new people are admitted or not. And at this point, the network has, we have projects in more than 35 countries around the world, and many countries have multiple projects. So there's probably about 50 or 60 different projects around the world that are part of this network.
Yeah. I don't know if it's possible to pull up a screenshot of the GitHub, the node network GitHub. Is it part of the My First Bitcoin GitHub, or is it a different GitHub? It's obviously a different repo, but anyway, in there, it's really cool. If we could, there it is. Perfect. You can go through, is it OS everything where all the different countries are?
No, OS everything is open source everything. So that's a different initiative that we have. Basically, we want to open source everything.
How do we find the list of nodes? Because I was looking through this the other day for a thread, or a few months ago, and it was awesome because I saw an old friend that does have a Bitcoin, the directory right there.
Yeah.
I think in Oregon or something. And I was just clicking around randomly, and I was like, hey, I know that guy. That's my buddy. And I sent him a message. Go ahead. I just saw you in the node network. That's awesome. But this is really cool. And you can see some of these are kind of stagnant, I noticed, but a lot of them are not. Yeah. And you can see all over the world what these different organizations are doing. And I just thought, I wasn't as big of a Bitcoiner as I am now back when I was a nomad and I was doing my thing around the world before I had kids. But how cool would this have been? Because it gives you a list of destinations to go be a part of something.
Well, it's, I think something that's really cool about it is it makes it
that's a cool map.
Feel like you're part of something bigger. Yeah. So every orange Bitcoin is a project in the network. So and the network is only a year and a half old. So it's grown pretty quickly. We add 3 or 4 new countries a month.
This is incredible. So real quick, before we move forward, let's just talk about this from an entrepreneurial perspective. Did you have experience building a big I mean, I guess you're not a huge organization, but you're getting a lot done. I know you have a team that you're pretty much in charge of, or at least organizing, focalizing. Had you done this before you started My First Bitcoin?
No. I mean, so I see My First Bitcoin less as an education project and more as an activist project.